Welcome to the Handy Hunter. How do you cover 6 acres of food plot with seed for less than $100? I'm going to show you how I do it. Stay tuned. So I'm slinging seed today and covering it, and I'm going to be done with my food plots for this season. And I want to share with you guys how I'm planting 6 acres of food plots today for about $90. This is a different strategy that I'm taking this year, because in the spring I'm going to come back and probably plant a lot of like peanuts and summer plots, and I don't need expensive seed that I'm going to end up disking up in the spring. That includes clovers and all the other stuff that make them expensive. So in the years past, I've had the best success with just planting oats in my food plots to draw deer in, or to keep does around the food plots for planting for the rut in the mid-November time frame. And if I can keep does in my food plots, and I keep bucks around too, and oats are just the best way to do that, in my opinion. Everybody has opinions about all this, and I just encourage everybody to do what works for them, and this is what works for me. And this food plot has a really good, actually all my food plots have a really good seed bank from previous years of when I've planted expensive seeds. And it included clovers and all kind of, legumes and things that reseed every year, heavy reseeders like Dixie clover and all that kind of stuff. And I have a rich soil, rich seed bank in my soil because of that. So a lot of stuff is going to come up in this anyway. But what I plant that I get away with for really cheap, it's $12.99 a bag, and it's this Producer's Pride oats from Tractor Supply. It's just basic whole oats. It's feed oats, and people will argue, or should I say, you should just know when you buy this is feed oats. The germination rate is not going to be as good as buying, something that's certified, Harrison oats or Bob oats or Buck oats, Buck forage oats. And I've planted all of those, and I like them all. I have no complaints about them. It's just when I know I'm going to disc this stuff up in the spring, I don't want to put out expensive stuff. That's just the bottom line. And this is going to draw deer in, and I'll show you guys video of deer grazing on this stuff, this cheap seed, come the fall when this comes up. Now I'm planting a little bit later this year than I normally do. I usually plant around Labor Day, and I'm third week of September now. Last year I got burned because of the drought. This year I think it will be okay. Planting a little later, but more of my strategy about planting is really to get those 2-inch to 6-inch tenderloin oats up for the rut. That's totally my strategy for planting later, instead of getting them up higher when they get a little stalky and deer start turning away from them a little bit. Just my opinion, just my experience. They tend to like them when they're really, really small and tender. So that's why I'm planting them a little bit later this year. Plus on top of the chances of getting a little better rain maybe towards the end of September. So I'm planting 6 acres today. I've got 7 bags, 50-pound bags. I spent $12.99 a bag for 50 pounds of seed on this this seed from Tractor Supply. So you can't beat it price-wise to cover that much ground with oats. And it's going to be nice when all this stuff starts coming up. Now this is basically just my hopper, my spreader here, just a basic spreader. Holds like 500 pounds of fertilizer or seed. Great spreader for doing this kind of stuff. So I'm almost done, but I wanted to show you guys this seed. It's just normal oat seed. It looks really good. It's just feed seed. You can see it's just just nice oats, and it's got a little bit of, like, you'll see a little bit of trash in it every now and then, but for the most part you can just see it's pretty much whole kernels of seed of oats. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. See, there's a little bit of corn right there in there. I've seen a little bit of corn today as I pour these out, but other than that, it's just really good stuff, man. I mean, it's cheap seed. And I don't do this every year, but when I want to get by on the cheap, and I know I'm going to be disking things in for the future, I just don't want to spend a whole lot of money on the mixtures. This is a cheap way to go. So just wanted to show you guys what the seed looks like, and that is just normal oat seed. This drag right here is my homemade drag. I basically built this, and this is just like this is a telephone pole right here that's cut, and the bars back here, these are just steel poles that I welded chain to, and all this chain has been tack welded together, and just made my own drag to cover seed with, and it does a fantastic job. So today I keep the pole on when I really want to knock down some of these bumps in here before I spread the seed, and then I'll take the pole off to lightly just chain over the top of the seed to cover it. And but oats, you can plant fairly deep. They're pretty forgiving, whereas some of the expensive mixtures that I've used in the past, like I love Pennington seed. I love that elite mixture that they have. I've planted that in the past. It's a fantastic mixture of seed, but it's expensive, and I've had really good results with it. It's just, you know, it's but the challenge with that is you got small, tiny clover seed mixed in with pea seed and grain seed. So it's kind of it's a dance to be able to plant it just deep enough that everything comes up, but not too deep that you lose your small seeds, your clovers and stuff. So but I've had good success with it in the past. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna get to work. We're gonna start covering some seed. All right, guys, I am done planting for the 2017 deer season. I am tired, I'm dirty, and I'm ready to go take a shower. But check it out, I got it all nice and planted, smoothed over, and it looks really good. That little strip there is nice and smooth. Tractor's all dusty, and my good old drag survived it another season. So we're gonna go get all cleaned up and call it a day. But nice to see it all covered on the ground, and to know that I don't have to do this part anymore this season.